85% winners. 85% winners, and I'm willing to give you that trend absolutely free. I don't want to sell you anything. I don't have anything to pitch you. I'm going to give you a trend that has produced 85% winners through the first 9 weeks of the season. Even better, primetime games, Monday, Sunday, and Thursday, it's cashed in at a 93% angle so far this year. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, General Manager at DeMarcosports.com. And guys, this is going to be your Sunday video report. I've got 3 complimentary plays coming your way in just a moment, including the 49ers and Bucs, Jacksonville and Minnesota, and another winning 2-team teaser. And with those NFL complimentary plays, I'm on a 59-41 roll over the past 30 weeks in the NFL, dating back to last year. But first, as promised, let's talk about that trend. Something that I first discovered about 13 years ago, and I've been tracking ever since, giving you updates here on the video report and over at DeMarcosports.com. And it is so damn simple, it'll make your head spin. Guys, if you simply pick the straight up winners in the games, they have produced so far this year, through the first 9 weeks of the season, at an 85.3% clip. That's right. 85.3%, going 116, 20, and 2. 116 wins, 20 losses, and 2 pushes. And that's against the spread. Yeah, pretty amazing, right? But how about this? In your primetime games, so far, just absolutely amazing. 28 wins, 2 losses, and a push. Here, I've got the calculator. I've done the math for you. That is even better. We're talking at a 93.3% clip. 93.3% clip. Pretty damn good, right? Now, the only string, the only catch, the only caveat. If it was that easy to pick the straight up winners, we'd all be multi-billionaires, because it goes against basic human nature. Even as a gambler, as a handicapper, I have to weigh the information, right? I'm handicapping every single game, but I'm also at the very end saying to myself, who's going to win the game straight up? Quick little story. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, I used to rip out the Philadelphia Inquirer, the preseason Philadelphia Eagles special supplement, and they had a page where they had the entire NFL season laid out. And for the first couple of years, when I'm like 10, 11 years old, I'm circling every single game, picking the straight up winners. And I was phenomenal. I was a genius picking up the straight up winners. One day, my father has a guy by the name of Pat Rigg come over the home. And my father's saying, yeah, we watch the games together. He does great. He picks the straight up winners. And this guy says to me, Pat Rigg says to me, well, how are you doing against the point spread? I'm like 11 or 12 years old. I don't even know what the point spread is. So he comes back a couple of weeks later and he brings me a betting ticket, one of those little betting tickets. You know what I'm talking about. And he's showing me and he's explaining to me what the point spreads are. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the genesis of me becoming a gambling degenerate. My future of a sports handicapper was set in stone that day. Now, suddenly, every single week, I've got a schedule where I'm picking out the straight up winners and I'm picking games against the spread. I didn't have the internet. I'm 12 years old. I'm learning, but I got better. And suddenly, now I'm looking at games from 2 perspectives. And even now, when I handicap, after I'm done analyzing and doing all my research, I then look at those games from a straight up perspective. And again, it's basic human nature to want to pick the games against the spread. But when you know something's hitting at an 85% clip, you have to force yourself to look at the games a different way. Now, this trend generally starts to wane about week number 12, week number 13 of the regular season. But I will tell you, the past couple of years, it has been just tremendous, even later in the regular season. And I will keep track for you as the season progresses. Couple of other things. How many times have I told you everything in gambling is cyclical? Remember weeks 2, 3, and 4 this year, where the dogs went on an incredible roll, going 29, 17, and 2 against the spread. And what happens when dogs bark at that tremendous rate? Well, gamblers lose money and sports books make a fortune. But I told you then, don't get falling in love with dogs. A lot of you guys are dog players. That's how it goes. Because again, everything is cyclical, and you have seen what has happened over the last 5 weeks where the favorites have gone 49 and 25. 49 and 25. Mark my word, guys, it's cyclical. Those chalks are not going to keep paying off at that rate. May happen today. You never know. Because over the course of a 272 game regular season, at the end of the year, the spread between favorites and dogs will probably be about 15 games. So don't fall into that BS that you hear in the public about bad beats. Don't fall into those guys that are always telling you about, oh, you got to play the dogs, you got to play the dogs. In fact, by the way, you will often hear about you got to play the dogs in the primetime games. Let me tell you something, guys. Not including the Thursday night game we just had, favorites are 21, 9, and 1 against the spread in your Thursday, your one Friday night, your Sunday night, and your Monday night games this year. 21, 9, and 1 against the spread. It's a myth. It just makes good copy. It's just like the bad beats BS you hear from SVP. It's attractive. For every bad beat you find, I can find you an easy cover. It's just, I'm not going to say it's fake news, it's real news, but it just makes good copy. So again, the final thing I want to say to you is that many times I've told you that if you like a dog and you think that dog is a quality dog and has a chance to win the game outright, and you're getting a significant take-back price of $1.40 or more, make a smaller wager on that dog on the money line. Again, if that take-back price is $1.40 or more. Because you will find it about a 30-35% clip over the course of a regular season, that dog will win outright. So far this year, you've had 60 dogs. The favorites are ahead by 16 games during the regular season. 76 wins, 60 losses, and 2 chalks, 2 pushes. So 60 dogs have barked. 40 of those dogs have won outright. Not every one of them have been a great pup on the money line. You wouldn't be playing the Patriots or the Browns plus 400 because there's no chance those teams that have 4 combined straight up wins are going to win outright. But when you find a quality dog at a good take back price, consider playing them again as a small pup. So all those numbers that I just quoted you are in depth over at DeMarcosports.com. Just go to the free packs section and drop down to the Pro Football menu. I update them every single week, and you can peruse them yourself, and we'll keep you updated throughout the season. So let's talk about Saturday briefly. I told you that I had a raise the bar 30-dime play, only the 36th ever in my career in college football, and I certainly delivered once again, improving to 3-0 with my plays, all big selections on the Texas Longhorns. It's always good when you have a 21.5 point favorite to be up 35-0 at halftime, is it not? I said it was my 4 TD blowout, and Texas won by, 32 points over Florida yesterday? Yeah, nice, easy win, but that was yesterday. I don't celebrate the wins. I don't lament the losses. Today is another day. Raise the bar, 20-dime football winner number 18 of 27, my road mismatch of the month. This is my second biggest play, just like yesterday. Just like my NBA best bet, 41 and 22 roll on Friday night on the Lakers. It's the half price play of the day over at DeMarcosports.com using coupon code HALF because I don't believe you have to spend big money to make big money. End of story. In terms of my free plays yesterday, oh, by the way, my best bets on Saturday, I'm now 8-2 with my last 10 best bets in college football on Saturday. Now, the comp play yesterday. Well, the comp play sucked yesterday, and guess what? I don't give a damn. Because my top comp play in college football, I've still won 8 of my last 11 Saturdays, even though I lost with BYU. Great game to watch last night, especially in the second half. But 8-3 with my last 11. Now, a couple guys have already written in and said I sucked, I should retire, I should quit because I went 0-3 with my complimentary plays. Again, don't let the door hit you on your way out when you don't want to watch the videos anymore because I don't care. Could care less. 0-3 yesterday. Lost the top play with BYU, lost with Indiana, lost with UNLV. If you didn't buy the biggest play of my career, a play that I've only had 36 of them in college football in 23 years on Texas, a Texas team that won by 32 points, laying 21.5, I don't know what I can do for you. I can't help you. If you only came for the free plays and the best free play is 8-3 the last 11 weeks, tough luck. So we move on. Let's get to your first complimentary play today. And my top play is going to be San Francisco. Minus the Excuse me. I get so choked up talking about these teams. San Francisco, matter of fact, this is the third effing video report I've had to re-record today because I've had issues with my computer and my camera. So I'm not real thrilled this morning. San Francisco minus 6.5 points at Tampa Bay. Listen, the difference in this game obviously is going to come down to the 49ers getting Christian McCaffrey back. You know, you just don't take a guy of that ilk out of your lineup and expect to have the same production. And it clearly shows in their red zone production. You know, this is a team that was number one in the red zone last year by leaps and bounds. And CMC accounted for 18 of their 42 regular season touchdowns in the red zone, where they converted at a near 68% clip a year ago. This year, they're fifth from the bottom in red zone production in terms of scoring touchdowns. And you look at the impact that he has had by not playing all year. All the other running backs in the 49ers have combined for 28 catches this year. 26, actually, 26. And that's not to talk down about the job that Jordan Mason has done, because he's certainly been more than capable back. But, you know, there's a reason that Christian McCaffrey gets the big bucks and is a perennial All-Pro. You just don't take him out of the lineup. The other thing I like today is that Brock Purdy has been a much better player on the road than at home in his brief career. 72% completion this year on the highway, 67% last year. Career-wise, 29 touchdowns on the road versus just 2 interceptions. The Bucs, yes, they're playing at home for a second straight week, but they are on the short week where the 49ers are coming off the bye. 49ers are relatively healthy. You know, I'm watching the Bucs loss against Kansas City on Monday night. And yes, I had the Chiefs as a free play. And I saw where the Bucs, you know, are beat up in parts of their secondary, and their linebacker crew is not that good to begin with. And you saw where Travis Kelce had 14 catches in that game. I got to think George Kittle, who Purdy has targeted 49 times, and he's come up with 40 catches and 6 touchdowns. And McCaffrey running those short routes, the wheel routes out of the backfield in those middle seams, the soft spots. I think those spots are going to be wide open today for the 49ers. So they're minus 6.5 and buying down the half point on San Francisco. Again, I'm sorry to lose my voice here. Let's get to Minnesota. Minus 6.5 at Jacksonville. And again, just like with the 49ers, I'm buying the half point down on the Vikings. Jacksonville, of course, Trevor Lawrence suffered the shoulder injury late in the game against Philadelphia last week. I don't think he is playing today. Last I looked before the recording this video for the third time, he was doubtful and expected to miss. That means Mac Jones is probably going to start. You know, Jacksonville was down 22-0 at Philadelphia last week before they made that aborted comeback. And really, it was more because the Eagles had some bonehead play calling and had a turnover that allowed them back in the game. Jacksonville's defense really sucks. Look at their last 5 games, with the exception of when they held the Patriots to 16 points and the only win in that stretch. Their defense gave up 34, 35, 30, and 28 points in the other 4 games. Their pass defense is pathetic, 71% completions allowed to opposing quarterbacks. They were outgained by the Eagles 447 to 215. So maybe on the scoreboard it looked close, 22-17, but it wasn't. Now, what I don't like about the Vikings is that everybody raves about Brian Flores' defense, and it's good. It's very aggressive. It gets a lot of sacks. It puts pressures on opposing quarterbacks. But listen, you can throw the ball on that defense. They're 29th in the league in pass defense. I don't think Mac Jones is going to be much of a threat here today. So I have no problem taking Minnesota minus the 6.5 in this one. Last week, they rebounded from the 2 straight losses to the Lions and then on a short week in LA against the Rams with a solid but unspectacular win on the scoreboard, at least against Indianapolis, 21-13. But you look at the box score, they outgained the Colts 415 to 227, and I'll go with the Vikings in this spot. Your final play is actually going to be a teaser. So the first half of that teaser is going to be Philadelphia, just like Philadelphia was in the teaser last week with Baltimore. Because the Eagles, as I've told you repeatedly this year, A, I have a problem betting on my hometown team, which is never advisable, and B, the Eagles, because of some dumb coaching decisions week after week by Nick Sirianni, who I don't know what he's trying to do, coach himself out of the job when he was hanging on by a thread coming into the season, and because of lackluster defensive efforts in the second half, they just don't like to cover. And look, laying 5 or more points this year, 0-3. Going back to last year, last 10 games, 0-9-1 against the spread. This is not a team that you want to be laying 7.5 at Dallas. I know Dallas doesn't have Dak Prescott. I know Cooper Rush is going to be here. I know Dallas is in desperation. But the fact is, the Eagles and Dallas, these are two things that don't mix like oil and water, because the Eagles have failed to win or cover in their last 6 trips to Dallas. Their average losing margin, 16.5 points. The home team is 9-1 straight up and against the spread in the last 16 meetings. I think Philadelphia has lost 9 of their last 13 games against the Cowboys overall straight up. Yes, they've won 4 straight games. They played well. Defense has been strong. The only game I can say I was really impressed with was the blowout win at Cincinnati, where they really put the clamps down on Joe Burrow. And you saw what Joe Burrow just did at Baltimore a couple nights ago, right? But again, I would rather put Philadelphia in a 2-team 7-point teaser, taking them down to pick them. Now, the second leg of that teaser, well, this is where it gets interesting. San Francisco, I think, is the best play on the board. I considered the Vikings. I considered the Chargers. But I think San Francisco is the way to go. Now, I personally don't like the double dip. For those of you that are newcomers, what I mean by that is if I was betting San Francisco today, I would not play San Francisco straight up and play San Francisco in a teaser, because if the 49ers lose straight up, well, I'm screwed twice, right? Because I'm playing them -6.5 and I'm playing them at pick 'em. They lose straight up, I'm 0-2. So I don't like the double dip in a teaser. But if I'm playing this teaser, I don't see San Francisco losing at Tampa Bay. I don't see Philadelphia losing at Dallas. So I would take San Francisco down to pick 'em. I would take Philadelphia down to maybe -1. And that's how I would play the 2-team teaser. So there you go. That's your way I would go today. And again, if you like what you heard today, you can always hit the little like button. If you'd like to subscribe and hopefully be made aware of when my videos are going to be uploaded, especially since there are going to be problematic days like today, you can always do so by hitting the little subscribe button down there in the corner. And you just saw flash up the screen there, the 2-day free trial. If you didn't take advantage of the 2-day free trial yesterday when I had my biggest play of the year in college football with Texas, I don't know what more I can possibly tell you. If you didn't, you can certainly take advantage of it today. You pick the 2 days. Today, it would normally cost $109. You get it for free. Free means free. So you might want to check it out. Again, I wish you well, guys, and let's recap your top plays before I lose my voice. I get so choked up about this. San Francisco, number 1. Minnesota, number 2. And again, I'm buying down the half point with both of those favorites since the line is crossing 6 or 7. And then the 2-team teaser and a 7-point 2-team teaser, I'm going with the 49ers and the Eagles. Go forth, make money, and we'll talk to you again soon. Good luck, everybody.